I didn't even know the questions. I'll mention one other one.
Has Hazrat given you any advice or guidance about this?
You know, Hazur's example himself is a huge guidance on how to serve the guests of Hazrat Masih. And I remember we were offering Fajr Namaz recently in Masih Mubarak, and there was a medical incident. And afterwards, you know, Hazur gave some guidance on, you know, what medicine to give this patient. And Hazur mentioned an homeopathy medicine, and we said it was like, you know, 5 o'clock in the morning. I can't remember the exact time. And Hazur mentioned this homeopathy medicine, and we were like, gee, Hazur, we'll try getting it. A few minutes later, you know, Hazur brought out the medicine himself, right? That's the guidance. You know, we don't need verbal guidance. You have this practical example of this man of God, right? You know, we hear this example of Hazrat Masih where a guest came and Hazur found out that he drinks milk during the evenings. So Hazur himself came to the doorstep, knocked on the door and said, here's a glass of milk. And we sometimes assume that these are things of the past, but we have that practical example, you know, of Khalifatul Masih, where, you know, something which he uses himself in his home, he goes into his home, brings it out and offers this to the patient, right? So it's not just verbal guidance, it's the practical guidance that we see on a daily basis, whether it's Jalsa Salana or outside of Jalsa Salana. That's what's inspiring, and you know, that's something that we're so fortunate to witness, and I can't even, you know, describe that feeling. I recall that when Hazur chaired the session from here of Ghana Jalsa, and everyone saw it on MTA, and the amazing scenes from Ghana where, you know, there was just an ocean of white, and you see, you know, men, young and old, women, young and old, children, right? They were just sitting there in the scorching heat. And it was just, you know, a scene. It was something, you know, almost out of a movie, almost staged, right? That how can these individuals just sit there, right, so patiently, just to listen to their Khalifa? And of course, we heard Hazur's sentiments as well.
Amir Sahib, Ghana, Salim Mohammed Saleh Sahib. Having seen the number of participants and the sentiments you have shown in your poems and taranas, I regret that I am not present there.
You are certainly present here, and we can feel your presence, and everybody can see your presence. I believe the whole world can see your presence.
Okay. Allah Hafiz, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
The next day I was very fortunate. I gave Mubarakbad to Hazur Yaqtas, Ayyadahullah Ta'ala bin Hazur, you know, it was an amazing moment. You know, it was really faith inspiring. And Hazur said to me that, did you see how much discipline they had? And I was like, gee, Hazur, and you know, Hazur said, you know, that's, you know, you guys, you know, you need to have the same sort of discipline. You know, sometimes when Hazur said that, you know, when I'm speaking here, we don't see the same discipline. And, you know, for me, that was a moment of great reflection, right? That as Sadr Majlis, right, I want to, you know, ensure that our Khudam, our Atfal, you know, have this, that we reach that standard where what Khalifatul Masih expects from us. You know, just to be close in physical proximity to Khalifatul Masih isn't enough. We have to demonstrate through our actions that what it means to be physically close and what it means to actually understand what Hazur desires from us. And I think this is something, again, Jalsa Salana or not, Ijtima or not, right? This is something we need to kind of take on and reflect whether we're reaching those standards or not. So last year I remember the wind-up was extremely challenging because it was so muddy around Hadikatul Mehdi that things were literally buried in the ground, and we were having to physically pick them up. And I remember Sadr Sahib Canada wrote to Hazur, Hazur, you know, we want to volunteer for post-Jalsa wind-up. And of course Hazur, you know, asked the administration here, what were their thoughts, and we were like, Hazur, no, we will volunteer ourselves and we'll get this job done. And of course it was so challenging that we were unable to complete as we wanted to, as it was desired. And I remember Amir Sahib saying to Hazur, Hazur, you know, pray for us, we're finding it very difficult. The Hazur said, you know, I did say it for the Canadians, you know, if they were able to come, they should have come. And, you know, it doesn't matter, this is an international Jalsa, right? So they're members of the Jamaat as well, so utilize them. So alhamdulillah, this year, you know, we have a contingent of almost 400 Khudam coming for post-Jalsa wind-up. It's just, this Jalsa is such an international feel. We have just Mauritius, just literally about 40 Waqfeen from Mauritius have just entered Hadiqat al-Mahdi. They're here to volunteer their time as well. We have members coming from America, Canada, across literally the world to make this Jalsa a success.
रहूंगा तेरे कदमों में हमेशा खाके पाँव कर